Ah, SpongeBob SquarePants. A show so delightfully weird and absurd that it's hard to imagine it has any connection to the real world. But what if I told you that the happy-go-lucky world of Bikini Bottom might have some unsettling real-life inspiration? That's right, we're talking about the Bikini Atoll, a remote paradise in the Marshall Islands that just so happened to be the site of massive nuclear bomb testing in the 1940s and 50s. And the connection between the two? Well, let's just say it's more than just the name. Let's start by looking at the Bikini Atoll. The Bikini Atoll is a coral reef in the Marshall Islands consisting of 23 islands surrounding a 229.4 square mile central lagoon. The atoll is at the northern end of the Raleigh chain, approximately 530 miles northwest of the capital, Majuro. After the Second World War, the atoll was chosen by the United States as a nuclear weapon testing site. It would be the site of the US's fourth nuclear bomb detonation and would go on to be the site for many more tests. But when they chose this island, it was inhabited. The people that lived on Bikini, all 167 of the atoll's inhabitants, agreed to relocate after being informed of the plan to test new nuclear weapons, though it is sometimes considered to be a forced relocation. In 1946, they moved to Rongerik, a small island east of the Bikini Atoll, but it turned out to have inadequate resources to support the population. The islanders began experiencing starvation by early 1948, and then they were moved again, this time to Kwajalein Atoll. In Marshallese cosmology, the island is the site of an abundant flowering zebra wood tree, thought to have spiritual flowers. So some of the citizens from the Bikini Atoll weren't too upset about this final move. The US would use the Bikini Atoll site for at least 23 nuclear tests until 1958, when it was discovered that the fallout from nuclear testing was much more dangerous than previously thought. At the time of testing, scientific researchers didn't know that radiation exposure didn't disappear overnight. This seems idiotic today, but it was 1958, long before the internet, and people were idiots. The largest of the tests conducted here, the Castle Bravo detonation in 1954, was over 1,000 times more powerful than the bomb dropped on Hiroshima. It created a fireball nearly 4 miles wide and sent radioactive fallout all across the Pacific. After fleeing the island for 14 years, about 100 residents were voluntarily returned to their home island. But scientists found dangerously high levels of strontium-90 in well water in May of 1978, and that the residents' bodies were carrying abnormally high concentrations of caesium-137. They were then evacuated again in September 1978, and as of 2025, the atoll is only occasionally visited by drivers and a few scientists. And the people of the atoll, which now number in the thousands, have spread out to the other Marshallese islands and the United States. To this day, the Bikini Islanders have not been able to return home due to nuclear contamination. Although not all hope is lost, there are some signs of recovery as the amount of radiation has been slowly decreasing. Now let's take a moment to look at the Bikini Bottom residents. Our main guy is a sponge who wears pants. His sidekick, a starfish that can regrow limbs. His heartthrob, an air-breathing squirrel that's underwater. His neighbor, a squid that can play the clarinet. His boss is a crab who loves money a little bit too much. Putting all this together, some fans have speculated that the Bikini Bottom's bizarre inhabitants could be the result of radiation mutations, an eerie reflection of the real-life aftermath of the nuclear testing that took place. Of course, SpongeBob himself is an innocent kitchen sponge, but this theory adds a bit of dark humor to the show's already wacky world. And let's not forget, the nuclear tests in the Bikini Atoll were responsible for some seriously mutated marine life in reality. Fish with unusual growths, coral bleaching, and genetic deformities have all been documented in the surrounding waters. The entire premise of SpongeBob SquarePants is built around a bustling, carefree underworld society. But in reality, the ocean floor near Bikini Atoll is eerily quiet. No bustling towns, no krusty krab, and certainly no SpongeBob flipping burgers. The irony is almost unsettling. An actual Bikini Bottom rendered lifeless by human activity, while its fictional counterpart thrives in our imagination. What does that say about how we process human history through the media? Do we transform dark realities into digestible, entertaining stories? Or is this simply a strange coincidence? Now, you might be thinking, was this intentional? Did the creators ever want us to make this connection? Well, Steven Hillenburg, the mastermind behind SpongeBob, was a marine biologist before he was ever an animator. He loved the ocean and understood its history better than most. And while he never confirmed the theory, it's entirely possible that he chose the name Bikini Bottom as a subtle nod to the real-life Bikini Atoll. Hillenburg always emphasized that SpongeBob was merely about fun and the magic of the ocean, but given his background, it's hard to believe that he wasn't at least aware of the historical implications. The character's name is derived from Bob the Sponge, the host of Hillenburg's unpublished educational book, The Intertidal Zone. He originally wrote the book while teaching marine biology to visitors of the Ocean Institute during the 1980s. He later began developing a show based on the premise shortly after the 1996 cancellation of Rocko's Modern Life, a show which Hillenburg served as a creative director for. And after 3 short years after the cancellation of his first show working for Nickelodeon, his pilot for SpongeBob Help Wanted premiered on May 1st, 1999. And fast forward 26 years, Nickelodeon is still premiering new episodes of SpongeBob. Over the years, there have been many references to nuclear explosions and subtle nods to the deformed marine life that exists today in the real world. But unfortunately, Steven Hillenburg has passed. And per his words when he was alive, SpongeBob was merely about embracing innocence, suggesting that childlike minds are okay and that dorks can be really important.
The show is really about not losing your childlike sense in life, you know, that it can be helpful in solving problems. It also can cause trouble, and it does for him.
But if that were true, is all this evidence coincidence? You tell me in the comments below. Boom! Outro Matt on the mic. Everyone else, you can click off now. If you guys are here for the channel and you like me and you want to hear from me real quick at the end as a little update, this is kind of what I'm going to probably do from now on at the end of my videos. Make a video that's kind of broad for everybody and then update the people that are interested in the channel at the very end. But voiceover Matt, still showing you some Hinsdale stuff. I'm working really hard on this ghost video. It's taking way too long. I keep, you know, just like coming up with other video ideas in between in hopes to kind of give myself some more time. I don't want to give you guys like a month of no uploads again. I did that last month and it didn't feel good. I felt like I was like procrastinating too much. But I am doing stuff in the background. It's coming along. I've got a ton of stuff on the way. I have a list here I'll show you guys of some of the fun ideas. So comment below if you think any of these ideas are good. I blacked out some of the best ones though because I want to keep them a secret until it's time. Thank you guys for watching. Please keep coming back to the channel. Follow me on Instagram if you haven't. It's in the description. My Twitter might be in the description. I don't even know. TikTok, something like that. Just read stuff. Leave a comment. Leave a like. Thank you guys so much. And yeah. See you guys in the next one.